Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Mondays with Marian. So this week I'm actually filming from Majorca in Spain, and I am on a 2.5-week travel adventure with a lot of my friends. So I'm really excited to film this episode because the topic that I wanted to talk about today is travel. So isn't it fitting that I am filming from Spain when I'm talking about travel? If you guys are new to my channel, please refer back to the first video if you want to kind of see some of the first videos on why I started this channel. And I really started it to give you guys another different perspective of entrepreneurship, lifestyle, spirituality, and basically everything that I've learned and continue to learn as an Asian American minority female. So I wanted to share my journey with you, and welcome to my channel. So today, as I said, I wanted to talk about travel. And for many people, they have the opportunity to travel either domestically or internationally. And for me, travel is just such an important part of my life, and for a few reasons. And I wanted to talk kind of about why I really got into travel. And the reason how I got into traveling and really experiencing other locations, cities, meeting new people was when I studied abroad and lived in Singapore. This was in college, and this was my first time living in a completely different country that I had never been to, with people I didn't know, and just experiences that were so out of this world. And I realized when I came back after living for 7 months and traveling to Thailand and the Philippines and other places and meeting new people, that I was hooked. And ever since then, and this was about 2005, I really made it a point to travel every single year to at least one place that I had never been to before. And since then, I've been to several different countries, different cities. I was so addicted to traveling, and I loved living abroad so much that I actually lived abroad and studied again in Shanghai, China, 2 years after, because I love the entire experience. So for all you college students, and I may do another episode about this because there's so much to talk about, please, if you're ever interested in studying abroad, just do it. Just do it. Studying abroad was the best thing that I ever did, and I loved it so much I did it twice. And the best thing about it was that there were so many scholarships and grants available because a lot of people actually just don't even apply. I remember for one grant that I received, I think a laptop and $5,000 for, they said they only had 3 or 4 people that applied. And all I had to do was fill out an application and write an essay. And it was worth it. So there's a lot of resources out there to fund studying abroad. So if it's a financial issue, don't let that deter you. So about travel, a lot of the things that I love about travel, and it's changed over the years because as a student, I was definitely more of a backpacker type, and I loved staying at hostels, and this was a great way to travel on a budget and meet new people from all over the world. And I realized that Americans don't travel as much as the rest of the world does. I met a lot of people all throughout Asia, Australia, Europe especially, and I'm actually still friends with a lot of them right now. Thank you to Facebook, because we still keep in touch. So I have friends from all over the world, and it's been so awesome because I met them while I was traveling. So that's one of the things that I really love, is meeting new people, seeing new cultures, and really experiencing a whole new way of looking at different things that I normally don't think about. And one of the things that I really love is that it puts things into perspective in terms of being grateful for a lot of what I have. Living in America, I think, especially growing up in the big cities like LA, and now I live in Miami, we take a lot of things that we have for granted because we live in a what we call first world developing country or developed country, and we have all the luxuries from high-speed internet to everything at our convenience, Amazon Prime, going to Whole Foods, a lot of stuff that you realize you take for granted on a day-to-day basis. And when I travel and I don't have all the things that I'm normally used to, like really fast Wi-Fi, and being able to, go to a 24-hour place to get food, or things that I don't think about, Uber working, all the conveniences that me and you take for granted, I realize how lucky and how fortunate we are, and it really humbles me. Every time I visit the Philippines and I visit family, I'm also very humbled. And every other developing country that I visit, I know that at the end of the trip, I get to go back home, where a lot of these people don't get to. And this is their home, and they don't have a lot of the resources that we have. One of the largest things about travel is really putting things in perspective. And it makes me so grateful and so thankful how blessed, we all really are. And especially with the internet and sharing images on social media, people think that it's always just beautiful locations. And that's a great thing, but a lot of people don't see what's behind the scenes, which is the locals that you meet and the experiences that you have. So I'm a huge proponent of traveling. Traveling with friends right now, I'm telling you, it is so fun. And we get to tell stories about the last time that we traveled and stories about a sip of wine, and we talk stories about 10 years ago when we did this, or the story of how we met. And it's really amazing. And it's these moments that you will always remember. And you remember it because you're in a different place. So it's not your usual Friday or Saturday night hangout back home or the usual places that you go to. It's always a different country or a different city. It sticks in your memory a lot more. I always love giving practical advice in a lot of my videos. And so people are like, okay, travel, what if I can't travel? I think that's a really huge misconception that travel is really expensive. It can be if you want to travel very luxuriously and stay at 5-star resorts and doing a lot of things, but it's actually not that expensive to travel if you really study it. If you go to different sites, there's so many apps now, and I'll mention a few that really make it so much easier to travel. So one is Google Flights. If you guys don't use Google Flights, you need to use Google Flights, because this is a great way to, if you already have a set itinerary and you go on Google Flights, you can plug in your dates, you can set alerts, you can look at different, for example, I'm coming from Miami, I can compare prices in that time frame, going Miami to Madrid or Barcelona at different places to see the price differences, and you can keep track of it. So if you already know your itinerary, you can plan, weeks or months in advance and really see the price fluctuations. And there's a lot of specials all the time. So that's a really good app. I also use Hitlist, and Hitlist is an amazing app, and it's free. And you can also aggregate data. You can put alerts. If you're a spontaneous traveler, there's categories for weekend getaways or in the Caribbean to different specials that they have. So if you want to travel last minute, you can look at all the different really amazing specials that are going on. So there's a lot of different ways to travel on a budget and still go to really awesome places. Airbnb has been a really great help in lessening sort of the blow of staying abroad. Because I'm with friends, when we are going to certain places, we pitch in together, get a really nice Airbnb like the one we have now, and we are able to really get not only a great location, an amazing place, but we definitely save because we're splitting instead of all staying in an individual hotel. A lot of times when I'm traveling with friends, you want to all stay together, and it's really difficult when each one has a different hotel room, especially in a big group. And we are a group of about 8 to 9 people. So staying at Airbnb and renting the entire place is extremely budget friendly, and it's also a lot of fun. So that's my tips. I have a few other ones too that I'll list out and I'll also talk about in my IG stories, but those are some of the travel tips. And there's a lot of blogs out that do for budget travel. I follow the points guy who really talks about using credit cards and using points to get airline deals and hotels, which credit cards are best depending on what you like to do, if you like to dine out or travel a lot, that are best to convert to points. So there's a lot of different ways. You just have to educate yourself on where to find the resources to find really good rates on hotels, travel, and just do your research, and it's totally worth it. So for people who say it's really hard or expensive to travel, that is false. You just aren't doing your work and you're really lazy. So a few other travel tips that I have is to do your research. Before I travel abroad, I really like to see kind of in that country or in that city, what do the locals do? Look at local reviews, not just travel sites, because a lot of travel sites are tourists giving reviews. So sometimes I want to see what other locals do. So I make sure I go in between local sites and travel sites to kind of get a feel of maybe some of the things I want to do or sites to check out, certain tours, things like that. TripAdvisor is a good one, but I definitely follow a lot of local blogs, different local publications, just to get a feel. When I'm traveling by myself, what I love to do is, before, when I was backpacking, I used to use Couchsurfer a lot, and there's a Couchsurfer community, and this is great for budget travelers, backpackers, college students. So in the Couchsurfer community, there are community managers for different cities that you go to, and you basically reach out to them, and they're super friendly, and there's different people who are very active in the community, and you can actually invite them to coffee and kind of have a local, like, take you out or go on a tour. I know Airbnb started something with like Airbnb experiences, but I feel like this is more touristy than locals, so this is a really good tip for a local way to travel. When I used to stay at hostels, there's always community boards, so you meet with other people who are travelers and other locals, and you kind of hang out and you go do excursions together and do a lot of things. So that's another really good tip, is to go into couch surfer community boards. I don't do that anymore because since I don't couch surf anymore, I have some money to invest in an Airbnb and hotels now, but I love this when I was in college because I was broke, but it was so much fun because I met really cool people. Another travel tip I have is every country I go to, if they speak a different language, on my phone, I actually do download all the basic things to like phrases, thank you, please, how to ask for, where to go to the restroom, the restaurant, the train station, the airport, things like that, and how to say it in that different language and how to pronounce it. So on this trip, we were in Italy, Spain, Morocco, and Greece, and I had just basic language skills, and it's really good to refer to. I think a lot of locals appreciate when you try and say hello and thank you in their language. It means that you're at least trying. So that's a really, really good travel tip. Another travel tip I have is, although sometimes I check bags in a lot of times, and this happened a lot in this trip with a lot of my friends who got their luggage lost, make sure in your carry-on you have an extra pair of clothes and your essentials and anything that's really valuable. So my phone, passport, extra money, a laptop, glasses, contacts, things that I really, really need was always on my carry-on. I always had it with me. So if luggage was lost, a lot of the clothes and things can be replaced, but a lot of valuables that can't be replaced, at least you have it with you. So it's a little bit easier. So that's a huge travel tip. Another one is what I learned from traveling in Europe 3 years ago, was that cobblestone streets are horrible for your luggage wheels. So I remember destroying one piece of luggage that before my flight back to the US, I had to buy completely new luggage because the wheels and everything was destroyed, and I literally was dragging it through the floor. So what I decided to do the next time around was buy a duffel bag that you were able to also roll. So when it was smoother streets, I would roll it, and when you really can't roll it, there's a duffel strap and a strap to hold it so that you can actually carry it upstairs. This is great for Greece and other places where you have to carry flights of stairs and you can't really just drag it up with the handles. This duffel converted carry-on and duffel bag has been amazing. And I bought this at a local luggage place in Miami for 20 bucks. And this has lasted me longer than my past luggage, which cost me like over 100. So that's a really good travel tip. Because you destroy luggage anyways, I have really nice luggage that I reserve for smaller trips or trips that I know that I'll be able to carry it on and it'll be in pristine condition. I have a rose gold suitcase that I will not take to Europe, but I will take on smaller trips because I know it'll stay nice. Depending on where you go, make sure you acclimate and be prepared for wherever you go. Those are a little bit of my travel tips. If you guys enjoyed it, I can definitely do another episode because there's a lot of other things that I've learned over the years of traveling and the reasons why I love to travel and like meet new people and experience new things in another video. There's just so much to talk about. If you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, please follow me. Handles below. Don't forget to subscribe and share. And I will do another episode. If you guys like, please let me know on studying abroad as a college student and sort of the process that I did, because I did study abroad twice. I lived in China and Singapore. So that was an amazing learning experience. And I definitely have a lot of tips for you guys if you're ever considering studying abroad. All right. Thank you so much for watching Mondays with Marian, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.